I remember the exact second I realized I wasn't part of the club, like someone had drawn a line in the air and I'd walked straight through it without knowing. My phone buzzed, and there it was, blinking like a neon insult. We're celebrating the kids who are really thriving. Greg, you're not invited. No offense. No offense. My chest tightened, my hands went cold, and Max, my 5-year-old, sat across from me in Spider-Man pajamas, tapping his crayons in a line like tiny drumsticks on a battlefield. He noticed my silence. The room shrank. My parents moved around me, pretending not to notice, but I could feel the weight of their gaze in the air, as if I'd failed some invisible test. I replied, none taken. My pride was already bruised, but I kept it wrapped in a calm envelope. That day, I was a 32-year-old accidental single dad, living in my parents' spare room, my self-worth measured in LinkedIn titles and paycheck lines. My cousins, doctors, lawyers, engineers, were the family scoreboard. And me? I was just Greg, the guy between things. Before the layoff, I worked at a mid-sized tech company with cold brew on tap and family culture slogans tacked to every wall. I made $18,000 a year, which my family deemed adequate, but in their world, adequate was a kind of failure. Lena, Mark, Evan, they were proof of winning. Me. I could fix computers. That sounded noble until it came up at Thanksgiving next to their medical degrees and engineering accolades. I remember my high school SAT results like they were etched in cement. Lena waved her 1520 like a trophy, everyone clapping like she'd cured cancer. Then me, 1280. I smiled for 4 seconds before swallowing the sting. We need people who try hard too, she said lightly, slicing the air with control. The lesson was clear, even in family, you are only as valuable as your achievements. Max softened things, briefly. His mom left when he was 9 months old, declaring motherhood wasn't for her. Suddenly, I was the only one steering his tiny ship through this stormy life. My parents helped, in their way, padding boxes of diapers like contracts, but every favor came with a clause. Stability, real career, no side projects. Every ask from me was a threat to their delicate, smooth, family narrative. Winners only. Then the brunch invite arrived. Winners only. The words burned in my chest. Max, trying to finish half a banana, watched me flinch. Daddy, are we going? He asked. No, buddy, I said. We're doing our own thing. His frown made me swallow harder. Different things, different paths, I murmured. But the lie didn't stick. That day, temporary stopped being temporary. I didn't explode. I didn't call her. I took a screenshot, saved it to a folder I labeled receipts. I renamed my resume file, Greg Understands Never Again. That moment, just me, Max, and a crayon snapped in half, was the spark that changed everything. I decided then, no more living under someone else's definition of worth. A month later, I cashed out what remained of my 401k, severance, and started building a startup with Maya, a former coworker. 3 hours at a Starbucks, breaking an idea into wireframes and roadmaps. An app for small businesses to manage feedback, a naive dream, but ours. My parents were skeptical. You're gambling with his future, my dad said. My aunt, the same voice that excluded me, called the next morning, I hear you're doing some app thing instead of Horizon Logistics. You can't afford pride. The audacity was staggering. Then she dropped the bomb, she'd been subsidizing my rent for months. That ended now. $500 jump starting next month. My stomach lurched. Stability, security, gone. All that remained was my own stubborn drive. I documented everything. Brunch screenshots, rent threats, every playing CEO jab. Every insult, every leverage move, stored in folders named receipts and legal. Maya's brother, Rob, a lawyer, helped craft guardianship and company clauses. If anything happened to me, Max would be protected. My shares in the company would go into a trust managed by Maya and an independent trustee. Family couldn't swoop in and claim what I was building. The words hit like hammers, this is survival, not revenge. 2 years of relentless work followed. Max slept, I coded. I pitched, I beta tested, I revised. By the time he turned 6, we had paying customers, a beta product, and a sense of possibility that wasn't tied to shame. Then came the day that changed everything, $4.7 million wired into our account. Maya and I stared at the confirmation, disbelief and elation colliding in the tiny co-working room. Max, switch in hand, asked the only question that mattered, are we successful now? I laughed, tears stinging. Yeah, buddy. We're successful now. Entrepreneur magazine wrote a piece. Old family emails, LinkedIn notifications, messages, floods of congratulations. Then came the brunch follow-up, we should celebrate and include your cousins. The nerve. They'd waited until the trophies were polished before acknowledging me. My mother called, trying to reclaim control, her voice coated in faux excitement. I remembered the winners-only brunch. I remembered Max snapping that crayon. I said, carefully, I'm not doing that again. I collected it all. Every word, every threat. I had proof. Receipts. Legal clauses. A startup built from grit, not inherited privilege. I had Max, sleeping in the next room, protected. And for the first time in years, my family couldn't define me. That night, Max drew on the back of a pitch deck, Daddy, Max, Maya, little hearts trailing behind. I looked at it, looked at my phone, and realized, we weren't just surviving. We were thriving. And the best part? We did it on our own terms. If it were you, would you walk away from the winners-only table and build your own? If you want, I can now also create a YouTube-optimized title, description, hashtags, and thumbnail text for this story to maximize clicks and retention. Do you want me to do that next? See you in next. Take care, face blowing a kiss.